Thanks, Chad. I'm Brigham Larson, and I'll admit to you guys, I had no idea what an RS-2477 road was before I started this job. But I wanted to make sure that everyone understands just how important they are. So I did the research, and here's what you need to know about these important rural roads. In the decade following the Civil War, the United States turned its attention to settling the vast territories of the West. In 1862, the Homestead Act was passed allowing anyone, black or white, male or female, who had not taken up arms against the U.S. during the war, to cultivate up to 640 acres of land in exchange for ownership. Accessing that land, though, required roads, and the federal government just didn't have money in order to build them. So in the Mining Act of 1872, they included a provision called Revised Statute 2477 that allowed anyone who built a road on undesignated federal land to receive a right-of-way title to the road in exchange for building it. So in essence, whenever a county, city, or state built or blazed a trail or road, they would receive an ownership property right in exchange for having done the work. However, that all changed in 1976 with the passage of the Federal Lands Policy Management Act, or FLPMA as it is more commonly known. The new law put an end to homesteading everywhere except Alaska and changed the development of roads from being a local decision to a federal permission. So from October 21st, 1976 forward, all new roads would require a permit from the federal government. These roads are known as Title V roads, which are different than RS-2477 roads, not in how they're used or how they're built, but in who owns them. An RS-2477 road is owned by the people that built and maintained it. A Title V road is a permitted road, which is exactly as it sounds, one that the federal government permits to be used, maintained, or improved. However, if for any reason they feel the permitted use is no longer beneficial, they can close it at will and a local community can't do anything about it. Since the passage of FLPMA, land agencies have refused to recognize any existing roads prior to 1976 as RS-2477, unless a court forces them to, which seems odd as many of the roads the federal government refuses to recognize can be found on U.S. government maps. So you might be asking yourself, what difference does it make? But to a county with large portions of the land controlled by federal land agencies, it could directly affect their transportation systems. If a federal land agency decides to change the use of the land and remove motorized travel, with a Title V road there is nothing to stop them. If, however, that road is recognized as an RS-2477 road, the federal government can't close it because they don't own it. If you think this is a moot point, just take a look at Kane County, who lost 40% of their transportation system when the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument was created. Monument managers refused to recognize the county's rights of way under RS-2477. This had a significant impact on the county's ability to access and maintain a viable transportation system for ranching, recreation, and other purposes. So you can see why the term RS-2477 means so much to rural communities across the state of Utah. If the road outside your house got shut down tomorrow by the federal government and you had no say in it, you'd probably fight back too. To understand more about the issues that are going on now with RS-2477, we'll be back with our panel of experts and we'll learn a little bit more about what we can do to help them fight for their roads. For the county seat, I'm Brigham Larson.